Connolly was a man that led the Irish Citizen Army, and with Larkin. When I was a kid, Ireland being the only country where left-wing politics and the Catholic religion are inextricably mixed, it may confuse you, but don't worry, it confuses us a lot more. But in any event, I used to sell a missionary magazine called The Far East, which was sold for the purposes of converting the Chinese to Christianity. Personally, I think the Chinese are more Christian than the Chinese system of government is more Christian than the Irish. You can get free hospital treatment. Now, I don't want free hospital treatment. I got plenty of money for doing this sort of thing, for instance. But the Chinese, in my view, have there was a system of government whereby mothers are treated for free when they're having babies and things, which doesn't as yet happen in Holy Ireland. But I'm at the start now with something, I forget what I was talking about. Well, oh yes, I was going to tell you, the GPO is the General Post Office, and it's a sacred place here because it was the headquarters of the Irish Republican Army in 1916 during the Easter Rising, of which rising Lenin declared, I hope the record is not smashed at the point of mentioning his name, but he said numerous sensible things. One of them he said was, I come, he said, to abolish the village idiot. But another thing he said the Easter Rising, there was nothing wrong with the Easter Rising in Dublin, except there wasn't enough of it. That it didn't happen in London, Berlin, Moscow, New York, and all at the same time. Them's my colours. But this aunt of mine went up where her husband was fighting, and she arrived outside the General Post Office, and the English, with that sportsmanlike sort of chivalry that they go in for, were shelling the GPO from Dublin Bay. And while the shells were landing, she went up and she said, I want to see my husband. Where is he? I said, go away, you'll be blown up, you'll be killed. She said, I want to see my husband anyway. So her husband duly arrived. She said, will you throw us out a few pounds and a few postage stamps, if nothing else, so as I can buy food for my child. He says, go away, Maggie. He said, you'll be destroyed. Get out of it, quick. And there was dead Tommies lying all over the place, and a few of our own sort too. And at last she said, will you tell me one thing? Are you going to your work in the morning? But the typical of all these larks, whether Sinn Féinism or Zionism or anything else of that sort, the big shots, they did all right out of it. They rode in with Lord Birkenhead, a Pigeon's High School spib. I don't know what the equivalent of a Pigeon's High School is in America, and I presume it's mostly to Americans I'm speaking. But it's a game where you throw up halfpennies, such like. However, we'll get on with some more culture. You needn't switch off yet. You're not going to be tormented too much. This is a little song that was written in 1937, and it concerns the first military operation in which I took part, which was the loading of cans of petrol, gasoline to you, on lorries to be taken to the border to burn customs huts on both sides of the border with a great impartiality. Well, the occasion was the coronation of George VI, the Lord of Mercy on him, and went as follows. Oh, it was on July the 28th in 1937 that a fire was lit without a grate, and the flames leapt up to heaven. Our king and queen came sailing down the loch in the best of order, and we welcomed them to Belfast town with a bonfire on the border. Oh, the queen put a muffler around her neck, assisted by her wee men. Oh, the king walked up and down the deck, surrounded by his G-men. When he asked, what is that fire I see? The reply was, there in order. Sure, it's Ireland united in loyalty, with a bonfire on the border. Some said the flames was Ulster's own, and more that they were extraneous. A county down man swore that they lit alone, the combustion being spontaneous. A man who loves the king and queen, and who stands for law and order, he said the flames was orange, white and green, and the bonfire on the border. But this other song was written by a person who will never hear it recorded because he's not the possessor of a gramophone. He's pretty much of a tramp. A hungry feeling came on me stealing, and the mice they were squealing in my prison cell. And that old triangle it went jingle jangle along the banks of the Royal Canal. To begin the morning, the screw is a water, incidentally. To begin the morning, the screw was bawling, get out of bed and clean up your cell. And that old triangle, it went jingle jangle along the banks of the Royal Canal. Oh, the screw was peeping, and Humpy Gussie lay sleeping, as he lay there weeping for his girl Sal. And that old triangle, it went jingle jangle along the banks of the Royal Canal. But in the female prison there are 70 women, and I wished it was with them that I did well. Then that old triangle could go jingle jangle along the banks of the Royal Canal. That's the lot. There you have it.